Okay, y'all, so I would start this video off with all the pleasantries and things like that, but I'm actually recording this for a second time because I ran out of storage and my video failed recording, so I'm gonna have to start all the way back over from the beginning. Hey y'all, it's me Flesh, back at it again with yet another video that you already know because I'm the baddest trans bitch on YouTube, and that's of the period star.
I don't get it fucked up just because I flown it. Niggas think that they can test me. Bring it if you really want it. Bring it if you really want it.
We're gonna get straight into it. We're not gonna parlay at this point because I'm shooting this again for a second time. And I do want to say, for my alcoholics out there, I'm drinking me some Burnett's. It's the red berry flavor. It's vodka. And I mixed it with some Sprite. Story time takes place in 2020. And I was just getting out of high school, dealing with the COVID thing. And I had started working security for my very first time, by the way. And I was working with Allen Universal. And I was at the Tanger Outlet in South Haven, Mississippi. Y'all know I don't have a problem telling y'all where I used to work, because I don't work there anymore, so it doesn't make a difference. I don't even think the company Allen Universal exists anymore down here, because I don't see them. They don't even have a building anymore. Around this time, I was 19 years old, and I got the job. I'm excited. I started on August the 10th, 2020, and I ended working there October the 25th, 2020. It was, I want to say, 3 characters I'm going to introduce in this story time. So you had Phil, Sergeant, and Black and Mild. Phil is a black guy, an older, more I'm going to say he's 50, more mature, kind of like somebody's uncle, grandfather, black guy, real skinny dude. You have Sergeant, clear as day. What is a sergeant? Military personnel. There you go. So he's a white guy. Then you have Black and Mild. Black and Mild, he's a black dude. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, and that's all I'm going to tell y'all that. Around the time when I started, unbeknownst to me, Phil and Sergeant actually had some beef because one of the girls that used to work there, she ended up telling me about the problems that they had. And the reason why they had beef, from what I heard, again, through the grapevine, was that Phil had been there longer than Sergeant. Sergeant had just started working there, I want to say 2 months before I got hired. And they ended up putting Sergeant as the site supervisor. And basically, if y'all don't know what a site supervisor is, it's kind of self-explanatory. We all work on different sites. But you have supervisors, and you have site supervisors. A site supervisor is like a manager, basically. And they're over the whole entire post. They do the post reports, do the pay rates, the hourly add-ups, all that stuff. So that's what their goal is. That's what their job is. So Phil felt like he was blindsided because they just upped Sergeant into that position when Phil had been there longer. Granted, was it on some racial stuff? I don't know. Could it have been? Maybe. But one thing I want to say is, for y'all to be damn near 50 years old, half y'all's life expectancy, y'all bitches were messy as hell. They used to make it their mission, their job, their responsibility to come to me separately every 5 fucking minutes and talk about how, I see today Phil didn't do these papers, Phil didn't sign this write-up, Phil didn't file this type of report, Phil didn't send this over there to the managers up there at the building, Phil didn't do this, Phil didn't do that. So then here goes Phil. I see that Sergeant came in and he just thought that he was going to run the shift today. He thought that he was going to tell me what to do, and I told him he's not going to tell me what to do because I'm older than you. You're not going to tell me what to do. And then on top of that, I see that he ended up writing me up because he said that I was taking too long on my lunch break. And I was like, oh my God, bitch. Can y'all please keep me out y'all business? Girl, I don't give a fuck. I'm here for a check, bitch. At that time, girl, I wasn't getting paid nothing but $10 an hour, girl. Do you really think I have time to sit here and see y'all complain and talk about each other all day? I don't. Talk to me about something else. So, girl, I want to say it was the day that I had came in, and Phil and Sergeant were going at it with each other. They was arguing, going back and forth. And I was just damn, y'all are really looking so childish. And these managers don't know that y'all are doing that shit. That's weird, but whatever. So, fast forward a little bit. Phil ended up leaving because he felt like he wasn't being treated fairly. He felt like he was being, what's the word I'm looking for? Looked over. He felt like he was, I think snub's not the word. Snubbed is the word. He felt like he was snubbed for a position that he knows that he worked hard for, and that Sergeant didn't deserve it. So he left. Sergeant was like, if Phil leaves, I'm planning on making you the assistant manager talking to me. Bitch. Girl, we're gonna get into that in a second, okay? It was me and this girl. I'm gonna call her Paris. I'm not gonna use her real name because before I recorded this. When I recorded the last video, I used her real name. I'm not going to use her real name, but she's going to know who she is. I mean, she didn't do nothing wrong, but she going to know who she is. So Paris was one of the girls who had just got hired after this other girl named Stephanie. She left. That's not her real name. Paris was a real cool girl, real, lackadaisical to herself. She don't really care too much about nothing. All she wanted is some Chick-fil-A and a nap, and that was it. Like, if she got Chick-fil-A and a nap, baby, she was set for the day. She didn't give a fuck about nothing, okay? Me and her, we used to, switch patrols. So it'll be a time where I'll be inside the mall patrolling around, locking the corridors, and she'll be outside driving around the back of the mall, like around the sides and the perimeter, and be locking the corridors from the outside. Now, basically, corridors are like doors that you open that lead to hallways that lead to other doors that open to other parts of the mall. And if y'all have ever been to Tanger Alley in South Haven, it's a really big mall. Like, you have so many different areas you can go in, and every turn you take is taking you to a whole different part of the mall. Like, you're never going to go in the same direction that you came from. Like, say you're going to H&M, right? H&M is all the way down on the end before you get across the street to Starbucks. If you're walking down where H&M is and you go straight, you're going to walk all the way to where Under Armour is. Once you get to Under Armour, if you look to your left or your right, Nike may be on your right, and you'll have Columbia on your left. But then all of a sudden, when you turn to go to Columbia, you try to turn back around and go back to the same way you came from to get your H&M, now you're over there where Krispy Kreme is, and Auntie Annie's, and American Eagle, and a whole bunch of other little places. So it's a very, confusing, corn maze type mall. I don't know why they made it like that, but that's the way that they made it. So, whatever. Now, it was a situation where me and her, like I said, switched positions. So, I'm the one on the inside doing the patrols, walking around, locking the inside corridors, and she's in the car, locking the outside corridors. So, I was like, you know what? I don't lock on the corridors. I don't have shit else to do. I done did everything I need to do. There's no managers here. Everybody done left. We watch the ladies leave the office and take their ass on home. Girl, it's nothing else for me to do. So you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to take my sweet ass into that fucking office, and I'm going to sit my ass down. Now, the way the office was made was, if you were to go where Nike is, right? Go where Nike is, hook a left by Pandora. Hook a right by Pandora. Once you hook that right by Pandora, keep straight all the way down, you're going to look to your left. To your left is going to be this big-ass cubby hole. That's where the security vehicle used to be. And then when you go around that corner, it's like a corridor right there. That corridor was where we would go to go into our office and sign a little paper, sign in, and things like that. That was where our office was. So outside of that office, when you go out of the corridor and you keep straight going to your left, you run right into Polo and who? I think Polo and Pandora. I think you run into Polo and Pandora. So, girl, I'm sitting there, I'm chilling. I done did everything I need to do. My job is done for the day. I'm just waiting for 11 o'clock to hit somebody can come and get me. And girl, out of nowhere, you hear somebody banging and punching and pulling and yanking on this door. And it's this loud ass crashing noise. And I'm like, what the hell is all that noise, girl? And I rush outside. I literally rushed outside, rushed in that corridor where Polo was. And I opened the door and I turned and I looked. Y'all, it is this man. It was this black dude. He had little Rasta rolls. They were in a little Bantu knots or whatever it was. And he had a little red and black polo shirt and these blue jeans. So this man is legit yanking and pulling on the door. He's shaking the shit out of that door, y'all. To the point to where, one of the handles inside of the damn store broke off and fell off inside the door. So I'm like, hey, sir, you cannot be doing that. What's going on? What's the problem? He was like, I left my keys in there. I'm not from out here. I'm from all the way XYZ 123. I'm not from out here. I need my keys. I'm ready to go home. So then he starts yanking and pulling on the door again. I'm like, sir, you cannot do that. You can't do that. To call somebody in order to unlock the door, you can't keep doing that. Starts yanking and pulling on the door again. I'm like, sir, you cannot do that. And then he's like, well, I need my keys. I'm like, okay. I'm going to call somebody so you can get your keys out of the store. Just please calm down. Just relax. I promise you, I got you. So I get on my radio and I'm like, Paris, come in. Silence amongst the crowd. Paris, come in. Silence amongst the crowd. Paris, come in. Paris, you're needed by Polo and Pandora. Paris, come in. She didn't answer the radio. So I'm just like, God damn, bitch. If it was a life or death situation, girl, I'd be dead by now. If you're from out of town, I don't know what the fuck you done took before you got here. And I'm not saying that because he's black, but there are certain drugs that are very popular, that are widely broadcasted across many social media platforms, that people find trendy, that are actually slowly killing them. And they like to take these certain types of substances and go into public places. So I don't know if he was tweaking out. I don't know if he thought he saw like a op of his inside the store, or I don't know if I looked like a demon or a creature to him. And he was getting ready to pow, pow, pow. Like, I didn't know what he was going to do. I'm trying to get as much backup as I can. Paris is not answering the fucking radio, so I don't know what she's doing or where she is. Girl, she could be dead too. I don't know. He probably got to her ass before he got to me. He had this binder that had like multiple different like phone numbers and managers' names that were over the different stores inside the outlet. So I'm looking, I'm calling people. They're not answering. They're like, oh, I don't have my keys on me. I have to call this person. Oh, I don't have my keys. I got to call that person. So I'm like, oh my God, girl. So I walk outside the building again, the little office that I was in. I walk outside the office, and as I'm walking out, y'all, I kid y'all not, it's like 5 cars deep of South Haven police officers. One thing about them, they don't give a shit about nothing, bitch. You could be a celebrity. If you are black, brown, or anything other than white, they're gonna try and find a way to lock your ass up. They don't give a fuck who you are. Walking up, it's about like a good 3, 4, 5 of them, and it's only but one dude and like 2 or 3 of his friends. So I'm like, oh God, please don't let this be what I think it's gonna be. He's looking at me, I'm looking at him, he's looking at them, I'm looking at them, they're looking at us. Then out of nowhere, Kendra ass drags and drops. And I'm like, where the fuck this bitch come from? Girl, I have been calling you. I called you like 4 or 5 times. The cops are asking us what's happening, what's going on, because our office got triggered that somebody was trying to break into a store up here. So they set off an alarm, and that's why they came up here. So they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. That's not what they said, but that's what I'm telling y'all. And I was explaining to him how, like, this guy left his keys up in there, and he's trying to get his keys, and we're trying to call people, and nobody's answering the phone. I'm saying we're like, because she done walked up, so now it's the we, bitch, it's only but me. Sir, you can't be pulling and yanking on the door because it alerts us that there's a break-in happening, and you can't be doing that. And then he was like, well, I'm not from out here, and I really want to go home. I need to go to my family. I just need my keys. I done called, like, several people. I even called the people that were, like, over security, trying to ask them what's going on. I called, what is his name again? Sergeant. He's not answering the phone. I'm just like, God damn, like, you bitches are terrible at management. Me and Paris, we walk into the office and we go into that same binder. So now we're calling people. Nobody's answering the phone. I don't have my keys. So then we end up calling, like, the actual store manager that's over that part of the property, that's over that one store, that one polo. And then she's like, hello. And then Paris is like, hey, there's a customer that's trying to get their keys out of your store. He ended up losing his keys inside of the polo, and we were calling you to ask could you come up here and unlock the door so he can get his keys.
Why couldn't y'all call anybody else?
I mean, it's your store, so.
Did y'all call the cops?
The cops are already up here. They need you to come up here to unlock the door so he can get his keys.
Okay, I'll be there in a minute.
Bitch, how you got an attitude because we calling you about your raggedy ass store? Bitch, your store does not make my check. He could have broke that damn door down. I wouldn't have gave a fuck. All I would have did was wrote a report, gave it to my manager, my supervisor, send it on about their way. So she comes up there, this old heavy-set black lady. She got a little, cardigan on, girl. These ugly-ass flip-flops, these blue jeans, and this white shirt, girl. She got her hair like in this little itty-bitty-ass bun. She ain't got no hair, girl. And her, like, whole demeanor changes when she saw the cops. Oh, my gosh. Like, I cannot believe that, he was pulling on the door like that. I'm so sorry about that. I wish y'all would have, like, called me earlier. Nobody actually called me to let me know. Me and Paris looked at each other like, bitch, did we just get into talking to you on the phone? So she unlocked the door. Man gets his keys, girl. That day is done. This is around, like, September-ish, leading into October. So around, like, the middle of September, it was after my sister's birthday, I remember, we ended up getting a new assistant manager, supervisor, whatever y'all want to call him. And this is where I introduced to y'all Black and Mild. So, Black and Mild was a black guy. He was from my city. Heavy set, taller than me. He smoked a lot of Black and Milds. Like, that's why his name is Black and Mild. He was real cool, down to earth. He didn't really give me any problems or anything like that. He seemed like a really decent stand-up guy. I want to say it was times where I was starting to notice that he was doing some real slick shit. Like, it was times where he would be sitting in the office more than I would. And, I mean, it is like 95-degree weather outside, feeling like 110. I want to go into the office, kick my feet up, and get some air. Open the door, girl. He's sitting in the office. Paris ended up changing shifts and working overnight. She had invited me to one of her parties, right? And I hit her up asking her, like, well, what time do I need to be ready? What time do I need to be there? She was not texting me back. So I kind of ended up having an issue with her because, that was kind of phony. That was really fake. If you didn't want me to come to your party, you should have just said that. It just was what it was after that. So I really didn't want to associate with her. So I would take the keys to the car once I'm done locking the corridors. And at 10:45, I would take the keys, tie it around the security door, and I would walk out, take my stuff out the office, sign out, walk into this other corridor by Auntie Annie's, and I would sit up in there waiting until my mama got off, and then she would come and pick me up. I happened to one day hear that people were snitching. And I'm confused because how the hell are you snitching on me when you be in the office sleeping, you be leaving early, you be smoking in the car, you be on the phone all day? Ain't nobody said nothing about that, but bitches are snitching on me because I'm tying the key around the door. Now, it was a day that it was just me and him working on that shift. And, he asked me, hey, Flesh, is it fine if I go ahead on and I leave at 5 because I got some business I have to go take care of? I'm like, sure, that's fine. I don't care. So he's like, okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. So he wanted me to drive him around to the corridor where we watched them women. Well, it don't really make a difference, but I used to watch these ladies walk out the building of their office around like 5, 6 o'clock because the mall closed at 7. They would leave out their office and walk to their cars. They were like little elderly, older ladies, Some of them, it was like 2 of them that was sweet, and the lady had a nasty attitude. I didn't like her. So I'm sitting in the car with him, and at that time, I didn't have my hair done. I just had my cute little, sandy brown black fro. So, we're sitting there, we're talking and things like that. And this truck pulls up beside us. I'm like, who the hell is this? So then he's getting out the car with me, and then I happen to look and see that it's this lady. Now, me, I'm naturally a friendly person. I'm not no rude ass bitch. I'm going to always say, hey, how are you? So she's looking in the car like she's glaring at me. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, hey. And then I'm like, girl, not you think I want your man. Girl, this nigga is my mama's age. So that was my introduction to, I'm guessing, his wife. I don't know. Let's say around like end of September, early October. And at this point in time, it was a day before. It was Tuesday. So mama, she took me to work on this Tuesday. And, on that Tuesday, it was an incident that happened. Y'all, I gotta rub my eye because I feel like I'm just like sweating, y'all. Hold on. Sergeant ended up leaving because he got off at earlier on certain days before I did. So he got off at like 5 and the mall closed at 7. So he leave at 5 and then I would still be up there. So I'm sitting up there, I get to the car, and I love this part because ain't nobody there trying to tell me what to do. I do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I could sit in the office as long as I wanted to. I could sit in the office I could sit in the office until it closed. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm like, damn, it's like 6 o'clock. I need to go and start doing my little patrols and stuff like that. So I'm doing my patrols, whatever the case may be. And I get a call from Sergeant. So Sergeant is like, hey, Fletch, it's these girls in American Eagle that are feeling uncomfortable because it's a guy that's up there that is like following them around the store and like trying to follow them to their cars. Now, this guy was a black dude, and Sergeant, like I mentioned, was Caucasian. All the girls in American Eagle were either Asian or Caucasian. There was no black girls up in there at all. So, do I think it was racial profiling? Yes. Because I actually ended up speaking to the guy, and the guy was actually so well-grounded, really cool. Like, all he did was come up there and, like, walk into establishments and ask them, are they hiring? He was trying to just get a job. He wasn't bothering anybody. Now, maybe he thought, one of the Caucasian girls was real cute, and he wanted to try his luck with them. She clearly did not want to try her luck with him because he may have been of a different race that she was not comfortable with. And she was like, well, let me try to find a way to get it to look like this black man is trying to attack me or harm me. So that's the first thing she came up with. That's all I want to say on that one. So go ahead on and just drive around, just patrol around the circumference of the mall, and just make sure that they're okay. And then once you get done, park beside American Eagle and just sit in the car and just watch them walk to their cars. I said, okay, cool, I'll do that. It's like 25 minutes after that, I got that call from Sergeant. Nobody has come out. I'm like, damn, bitch, like, are they coming out the store? No, like, what fucking time do they get off? Because, girl, like, the mall closes at 7. Are y'all leaving or no? I get a call from this lady. I forgot her name, but her name pops up in my head every time. And it's like, I cannot put a finger on it. But I know for a fact it started with a T, and nobody liked her. So I pick up the phone because I see her calling. I'm like, hello? First of all, it's not like this bitch is at a sports bar, so let's just say that. Second of all, you're handling business and you out there getting drunk. Weird. Who is this? And I'm like, this is Fletch.
Okay, well, first of all, don't answer the phone saying hello, so this is out of Universal Security.
Oh, slow your roll.
Okay. First of all, slow down. So I said, okay, well, I didn't know that. Just for future reference, just say that. I said, okay, well, I will next time. How can I help you?
Why is it that I'm getting a call from American Eagle saying that they actually security escort and nobody's over there?
I'm sitting outside in the car.
Okay, so don't you think that if they actually escort, you're supposed to go up there to the door?
I said, okay, well, I didn't know.
You need to go up there to the door, and I'm going to get another call from them saying they actually security and nobody's answering the phone.
Bitch, if you don't... So let me rewind the clock just a little bit. So the incident with the guy pulling the door, me and Paris made an incident report about it. And for some reason, Sergeant was trying his best to make it seem like I didn't make a report about it. I didn't tell anybody what was going on. I didn't call anybody. I didn't text anybody anything. I didn't call the store manager to handle the business. So clearly the lady that came up there lied to them and told them that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but I was the only one that was present when that man was yanking on that damn door like he was a lunatic. So now he's like, well, maybe something's been misconstrued or some information isn't being brought correctly to me, or maybe something that was said wasn't written down. No, bitch. Everything that happened is what the hell I told you. Everything that happened is what the fuck I wrote down. You can check your call log and see that I called you first. I called Miss Mandy second, and then I called her third. They were trying their best to get me fired. So that's the first incident I had with that lady. So that kind of pissed me off, and that's why I didn't like her. So then here goes this incident. You coming at me crazy inside my damn head, bitch. You doing too much. You're doing way too much. I get out the car, and I walk into American Eagle, and I'm standing right there. They finally come out. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're right here, because that guy's scary. Bitch, get out of my face. Like, I wasn't even in the mood. Like, my adrenaline's pumping. I'm pissed. I don't want to talk. Like, have a good day. Goodbye. The very next day, y'all, like, I don't know what was going on that day. That day, you know, everything seemed so, like, hostile. Like, Sergeant had a problem. Black and Mild had a problem. He was being a smart ass. The people in the main office were being a smart ass. Girl, it was some customers up there. They was finna get ready to fight. Then on top of that, the same dude from before, he was out there in the parking lot. These girls was over there twerking on him. It was like 6 girls twerking on him. And I'm like, y'all are so weird, playing loud ass music. I'm just watching these ladies walk out. Around this time, it's like, you know, it's a little bit of like October air going on. So they going on about their business. So I'm walking around in the mall, you know, chilling, whatever the case may be. Out of nowhere, these group of dudes walk up into the mall. And I look, and it's like, oh shit, that ain't her, that ain't her. That's somebody else. Y'all was gonna beat my ass? Kind of feel bad for the bitch that y'all looking for, because what the hell did she do to you? The very next day, y'all, and as me and my mama were pulling up, we hear, shut the fuck up, bitch, shut the fuck up, bitch. I don't got another hoe, this motherfucking t-shirt. And I'm like, who is that? Talking about a t-shirt. And I'm like, what? Who is that talking? We see that it's Black and Mild. He is on the phone having a heated argument with whomever it is he's having a heated argument with. Me and my mama, we look at each other. You know how black folks do that look that's like... And then she said, well, have a good day, I guess. And I got out the car and she busted out and started laughing. So I'm walking into the building. I'm signing in. You know, I got my gym shoes in my hands. I have my flip-flops on. I swear my cute little Bath & Body Works strawberry pound cake perfume, girl. I got from Atlanta, girl. And y'all, I can hear this man outside going off. The door opens and he comes in. So girl, he walks to this binder and he takes like these 3 sheets of paper and he's like, sign these writers for me. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, okay, first of all, now I know for a fact that you're not trying to make me sign no write-ups when you be leaving early, you be in his office sleeping, You don't do your patrols. When I saw them write-ups, I remember, so I signed them, but when it asked me to write some comments, I wrote some very respectful, nice, nasty comments. I said, basically, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding what I do on this post, please consult with me first before writing me up. It's around like 8 o'clock. It's kind of like dusky, you know, when it's kind of like blue outside, but it's not black yet. Black and Mild is still on the phone arguing with whoever he's arguing on the phone with. This man is so loud. I'm shocked nobody could hear him. And he's been back there in that same area. Remember what I told y'all? Back there where the security office is, that corridor, that's where he was the whole entire time. So I ended up actually meeting him when I was leaving the bathroom. Oh, that's nasty. I'll pour some Sprite in here. Hey, you know, I'm gonna take the keys and I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna lock the outside corridors, and then when I get done, you can get in the car and do your patrols. I said, okay, cool, that's fine. I walked down that same little pathway by Pandora and Polo where the guy was shaking the hell out the door so he lost his fucking mind. I walked clean past that way, walked all the way to the end, and I was trying to hook my left. I happened to see that there was this truck back there. So I'm thinking in my head, oh shit, girl, like he's finna ready to leave again. He's gonna do his whole old fledged, I gotta go handle some business, so can you like sit up here and like finish off the rest of the shift, and you know it's gonna be okay, you know I'm not gonna bother you, blase blase blah. That's what I'm thinking. It's around 9, you know, I'm walking around, I'm like, damn bitch, like I'm really fucking tired. Like I done walked around for like 5 hours. It's really only been 50 minutes, but I've been walking around for 5 hours, bitch. Like my feet hurt, they're flat as hell. Like I feels like I'm walking on the bones of my damn feet. Like girl, there's nothing but cartilage at this point. I'm ready to sit my ass down. Like I'm tired of standing. As soon as I open that door to where the bathroom is, his wife meets me. He comes to the office, his eyes red. She comes into the corridor where the office is, her eyes red. So we're all like sitting there looking at each other. I'm walking out there, I'm disheveled, I'm scared, I'm lost. So they're looking at me, I'm looking at them, look at me, and then he's looking at me, look at her, look at her, look at me, look at him. So she asked me, do you know where the bathroom is? Yeah, it's over here. Then she walks to the bathroom. I leave out the same corridor where Polo is and Pandora. So as I'm walking out from over there, I do my little rounds again. I come back around. I turn the corner again and I look. This is like 15 minutes after that. I'm seeing shit flying up out of the truck. And I mean, shit is flying out of the truck. And she's like,
You can take all my shit. You can have all of that. I'm gonna put that shit. I'm gonna put that.
ooh. So girl, you know me, I turned around because my mama raised me to stay out of grown folks' business. I do a 360, bitch, with my inches in tow, back around the corner to where, you know, you're leading to the front of the mall. So as I'm walking, you know, I feel this presence. Like, you know when you feel when somebody's standing beside you or staring at you? So I happened to look to my desk and left, y'all. This bitch is walking beside me. I'm like, girl, oh, hell no. What do you think this is? I'm not collateral damage. Like, how are you going to try to walk beside me for me to do what? Protect you? After you snub me, after you tried to sit up here and judge me when you didn't even know me. You were over here looking at me like you were better than me. You were disgusted. You were like, oh, this peasant ass bitch. Like, but now all of a sudden you're seeking refuge in me for what? Bitch, help yourself. I know that's a rude thing to say, but in that moment, that's how I felt. That is how I felt. Because why did you treat me like that? You didn't even know me. Black mouth pussy beside her.
Get your ass in the car. Get your ass in the car. They'll take your ass in jail. Get your ass in the car.
She's like,
I don't want to get in the car.
I'm like, bitch, get your ass in the car. Because if you reach out and touch me, I'm telling you, it's going to be hell and Hot Wheels on this motherfucking campus of this mall. Get your ass in the car. I hurry up and I hook me a cute right. So I'm walking past Nike going back inside the mall, like to the inner sanction of the mall. And she gets in the car with him. They drive or go wherever they fucking finna go. So now I'm like, damn, I don't feel comfortable. Like, I'm scared. Like, I am so scared. And I'm saying this to myself. I'm like, I'm so scared. I don't feel comfortable. I don't know what's going to happen. So I call my mama, and I'm telling her, like, hey, what's going on? You know, well, hey, what's going on? I'm telling my mama what's going on. I'm like, hey, mama, you know, my manager, he's getting into it with his wife, and I don't know what's going on, but I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe. Could you come get me? And she was like, well, you know, I'm kind of doing X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3 right now, so just, you know, tough it out. If anything happens, just call the cops. I'm like, yeah, mama, I know, but I'm just kind of scared. I'm just really scared. She's like, well, Damaris, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, right.
She kind of kept me level-headed in that, you know, situation. Hey, y'all. So, Editing Fletch here. I don't know what the hell is going on with my audio, but it's starting to piss me off really bad. First of all, one, excuse the audio in these next clips because the audio's gonna be kind of wonky, so I apologize. However, I do want to say this. Now, before I seen what happened in these next clips, after I got off the phone with my mom and stuff like that, right, I was walking back to the same place I came from, the little corridor where like the Polo and the Pandora is, because I was going to go back to the office to see if the security vehicle was back there, because he told me he was going to let me drive the car. So I'm walking back around that way, and I see that truck and the security vehicle back there again. So I just went on and I about-faced, and I went on about my business. So as I'm walking away, going back the same way that I came, his wife, she's like running up. I done made it like probably to the center where you have the Pandora, the Polo, the Under Armour, and something else like right in that little area. I'm right there where those little benches are that you sit on. Well, they're not benches, they're like little concrete thingies in like a little fire pit. So she runs up. She's like, hey, miss, hey, miss. Hey, miss. So I'm like, girl, what? Because I'm like, who is that calling me? So I told her, and I look. She was like, come here, come here, come here. And I'm like, okay. So, like, I'm walking up behind her. She turns around. She puts up her set like she's finna go fight this man. I hope she's not thinking that I'm about to fight him. I'm hoping she don't think that, because I'm not about to fight this man. This man is like, I was 5, I want to say 5'4" at the time. That man had to have been about a good 5'11". He was heavy set, muscular. We're not gonna be able to beat this man up. And like, she's speeding around the corner. I'm like trying to follow her. She leaves me behind. So next thing you know, she's like, don't put your hands on me! Don't put your hands on me! You're abusive! You're abusive! Oh my God! Then girl, he started punching her lights out, y'all, and I'm seeing this with my own eyes. He is reaching in, and I mean, he is punching her so fucking hard, like, y'all, the car is shaking. And then she's like, oh my God, somebody help me! Oh my God! So now me, bitch, I'm like, no! So then, girl, I turn around and I started crying. Y'all. I was like, no. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I have never witnessed domestic violence ever. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? So I run, I'm like, oh my God, no, oh my God, no, oh my God, no. So I call mom, I'm like, mama. She was like, what? I was like, mama, my man just got done beating on his wife. She's like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? I'm like, yes, mama, he just got to beat on his wife. She said, call the cops. I was like, mama, I don't want to call the cops. I don't want nothing to happen to me. I'm scared. I don't want nothing to happen to me. She was like, now what the fuck would you do if that was your sister's getting beat on by some man? What would you do? I said, I will call the cops. She said, well, then call the fucking cops. I said, yes, ma'am, I'm going to call the cops. So, girl, like, I get off the phone with her. I called 911. I'm like, yo, my man just got that beat on his wife. Like, y'all, I'm laughing. Because I laugh to kind of keep myself in a very, like, sane place. But that was a very scary moment for me as a young teen. So, I called the cops. And I just got done bawling my eyes out on the phone with the cops. In that same corridor where Auntie Annie's is. And y'all don't believe who walks up to me. Explain to me why. Black and Mild walks up to me. And he's like, here go the keys. Do you know where my wife went? Do you know where she went? No. Why the fuck? You see that I've been crying. You clearly see that I'm affected by the situation at hand. And you gonna ask me where the fuck did she go? As if I was gonna tell you where she went anyway so you could do what? Kill her? Harm her? Absolutely not. The way I was raised, I'm not gonna put no woman in the line of danger, regardless of whether I like you or not. If you're in a situation to where it could possibly mean life or death, I don't know where she went, but if I did know where she went, I wouldn't tell you. Because I wasn't gonna tell you. So, he handed me the keys. You don't even give a fuck about the fact that I'm crying. You can clearly see that I've been crying. You don't care. So, he goes and he leaves wherever the fuck he's gonna go to. I get in the car. So I called everybody. I called Sergeant. He did not answer. I called Leslie. That's not her real name, but that's the name I'm gonna name her because I'm mentioning her. I called Leslie. That's the lady that was like, first of all, don't you think you could, that's the lady, Leslie. That's not her real name, but whatever. So I called Leslie. She did not answer. I called this other lady. She did not answer. I called Mandy. Mandy was such a sweet lady. Like, she was always so nice to me. She answered the phone and she was like, hello. So clearly she had just woke up and I woke her up out of her sleep. I wasn't trying to do that, but I needed somebody who was in management who was going to help me if something happened. So I'm like, Miss Mandy, what's his name got done beating on his wife on the job? She said, what? I was like, Miss Mandy, he just got done beating on his wife on the job and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. She was like, okay, well, baby, calm down, calm down. What happened? I said, well, his wife came up here and they had been arguing all day and she came up here. And when she came up here, he was like, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. So then he ended up punching her, and I saw him punch her. And then I called the cops, and I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. She was like, calm down, baby. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Calm down. It's going to be fine. So I'm going to be up there in a second, okay? Just, where are you at right now? I said, well, I'm inside of the security vehicle. She said, okay, just calm down, take a breath, breathe, and I'll be up there in a minute. And I said, okay. So I was breathing. I calmed down. And as I was on the phone with her, I'm sitting in the car, I'm crying. Y'all, out of nowhere, these headlights came up from behind me. Mind you, the mall closed at 7. It's now like 9:45. So I know it's nobody else but him. He's in the truck with her or whoever he's with, and he's driving past me. Girl, I wiped my tears so damn quick. I closed the mirror now, and I was just sitting there acting like I was just, patrolling. And then he stopped by the car. He said, hey, I'm going to go to the gas station real quick. I said, okay. And then he went on around the corner, went on down to the gas station. So now, y'all, I was like, oh no. I see her pull up. When she pulls up, like 8 squad cars pull up, girl. And only but like 5 cops got out the car. So if it's 8 cop cars, 5 cops got out. There has been another like 6 or 7 sitting on the passenger side. So I'm sitting in the car and then she's looking at me. She's like, so then I get out the car and they're like, okay, so explain to me what happened. This and that happened. And, I was sitting there, blah, 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 blah. And then he started beating on his wife. So y'all, out of nowhere. And I mean like out of nowhere. I mean like when I say, I don't know where he came from. I didn't even hear him walking up. This man like popped up in my peripheral. And I looked and he was like, hey officers, what's going on? They said, okay, so she's telling us that you were beating on your wife.
What? What did you talk? What do you mean? I ain't never did. What?
Clearly, a bitch got cataracts. She don't know what the hell she done seen. So I didn't see you WWFing this lady on the passenger seat of your car. I didn't see you reaching in there, literally strong arming this lady, shaking the whole vehicle. And I'm just imagining that you just snatched her like that. I'm just imagining that I saw you closed hand punching her upside her head. I'm just imagining that she was screaming for help. I'm just imagining that you were throwing her stuff out the car. I'm just imagining that you were arguing on the post all day with this lady. I'm just imagining this, right? Because I'm so delusional. It was like, what are you talking about? I never did that. So then after that, the cop said, well, you're good. You can go back to the car. And Miss Mandy said, yeah, you can go back to the car. I said, okay. So I went back to the security vehicle. I'm sitting up in there, my girl. My mama, she yeeted around that corner, girl. And she pulled on up in her spot and she parked. So they all escort him back into the office. He gets all his belongings. And then they escort him, back off the property. So I'm sitting in the car, girl, and I see him walking. And then, like, I kind of noticed that he's walking up to the car. So I'm like, wait a minute, like, what's going on here? Like, you don't see these cars right here. What you finna do? I kind of, like, peeped the window down a little bit. So that way, like, I can see your eyes and I can hear you, but you can't reach in here and grab me if you wanted to. So, girl, like, this man says, and I quote, hopefully my idol doesn't sound bad out here. But I just want to say, a part that I missed out on was what he actually said. I kind of ended up deleting that by accident. So basically what he said was, you told them folks I was beating on my wife. And that's when I was like, I didn't know what else to do. He said, you got me fired, but it's cool. Basically meaning, that's all right. I got a trick for your ass. Like, I'm having flashes. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm going to be one of the people. I'm a Pisces. So I can kind of see when things happen before they happen. So a lot of things I have seen happen before they happen. I saw in my head at that time him taking a monkey wrench and like bashing the window of the security vehicle I was in, taking me out and beating me up. He jumped me with like some other guys that was his homeboys. And it was just a mess. Like my mind was so like gloomy, girl. Like I don't know what I was going through, but girl, I wasn't on no drugs. I wasn't even drinking at that time. So I mean like I was really just like having a moment. So then the cops come up to me talking something. What did he say? What did he say? Did he say he was going to beat your ass or something? Bitch, first of all, why did you say it like that? Like, you could have said it like a whole different type of way. So the first thing you thought was he's going to whoop my ass. So you could have said, did he threaten you? Why did you have to say it like that? It was a white cop that came to me and said that. I'm like, no. He said that I got him fired, but it's cool. That's when, I get a call on the phone. Guess who it is? Just guess who it is. It wasn't Leslie. It was Sergeant. So, me. I answered the phone. I'm like, hello. He was like, hey, Fletch, what's going on? I saw you called me, but I wasn't at the phone, so what happened? I said, well, let me tell you. Basically, y'all, what I was telling him was about the situation that had happened and things like that. I'm expressing it to him. He was like, well, how come you didn't call anybody? I said, I did. I called you first. I called Leslie second, and I called Miss Mandy third. He said, well, who's up there now? I said, Miss Mandy's up here handling the situation. So this man proceeds to ask me, well, Fletcher, how come, we're always the last ones to know what's happening? Because I wish we would have known about all the situations that have occurred, but it's like we have like this communication disconnect. And I said, well, would you really like to know why you guys are always the last ones to know and there's a communication disconnect? He was like, yes. I said, okay, well, it's probably because you guys are always focusing on what I'm doing instead of paying attention to what everybody else is doing. There are things that have happened that have been happening for weeks, months, right in front of y'all's faces, but y'all are too busy focusing on what Fletch is doing, where Fletcher is at. Did Fletch sign in? Did Fletch leave early? What is Fletch doing? What has he got going on? Y'all are so focused on what I'm doing instead of paying attention to what everybody else is doing. I have been telling y'all for weeks that things were happening, and nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody thought that, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm young. I'm dumb. I'm new to this. I'm just making this shit up. Y'all too busy concerned about what I'm doing. That's the problem. The problem ain't because I'm not calling y'all. The problem is y'all not listening to me. Everything that's happened is because I told y'all. If I was not doing my job like y'all said I wasn't, y'all would know about anything that's happening up here because nobody else gave a fat ass about what was going on up here. I'm trying to censor myself out because the kids are here. First of all, Fletcher, I don't like your tone. I don't like the way you're coming at me. You can say all that military stuff for the folks that's in the military, boo. I ain't never been in the military and I ain't even gonna go. So, with that part being said, I'm talking so fast, but I'm getting irritated. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't really have a job. Because it was times that you left early. It was times that you were sleeping on the job. It was times that you were smoking in the car. It was times that you were smoking inside the building. Ain't nobody snitch about that. But everybody got so much to say about me. I didn't Leslie answer the phone. I said she's always the one up here calling me, talking about how, the next time somebody calls, y'all need to be answering the phone. But she didn't answer the phone, and I needed her. So you let her know that. Fletch, I just want you to understand that we really do appreciate you, and we want you to know that you're actually doing a great job. Bitch, you can save that. You could take that and shove it up your ass. Because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear oh, you're doing a great job. I don't want to hear that stuff now. Like, my nail popped off. I don't want to hear that stuff now because you should have been telling me that before. Now, it's we appreciate you because I done snapped off on you because I done reached my breaking point. I don't want to hear nothing that you have to say at all. Alright, y'all, so I'm not going to keep recording this because it keeps cutting off on me when I'm trying to tell y'all my closing statements. But basically, all they did was investigate the situation. And when they investigated the situation, I ended up changing different jobs, and I was at Amazon, and I didn't like it there. I got into it with the manager that I mentioned before. Her name was Miss D. Didn't like her. So that's just that on that. So one thing I want to say is I want to spread awareness for abuse, whether mental, physical, or emotional. Don't ever in your life feel as though you need to change who you are to please somebody else. As long as you're not doing things that will affect you, anything that's going to furthermore harm somebody or yourself, don't feel as though you need to change for somebody else. Because you don't want to be stuck with somebody who's manipulating you and then feel as though that everybody is against you when everybody has already warned you. You don't want to feel like that. Nobody wants to feel like that. If you have people in your corner that is trying to help you, allow them to help you. Don't go back to that situation. Do not go back to the situation because it's only going to make people that wanted to help you not want to help you, and it becomes the boy who cried wolf or the girl who cried wolf. Make sure that you acknowledge when somebody's abusive. Make sure that you don't judge a book by its cover because you never know who you're going to need. So, this is not called The Life of a Trans Woman for no reason. So, thank you guys so much for tuning into this story time. And I'm hurry up and end it now before it decides, so I'm gonna cut off on you. So let me go ahead and end this now. And make sure you guys give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. I will be coming out with more of my promiscuous story times sometime later on, girl. But I'm gonna be outside telling those. It's the only reason why I'm in here telling this story times because it's nighttime. So yeah, I will catch you guys in my next one. And remember, stay drunk, bitch.